there.
Okay? Yeah?
Okay.
Ooh, be careful.
We were. Okay. Hi there. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. How are you?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so very, very good. So it is 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Please.
I will.
Christelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm ConscienceLAND from HKU. I'm managing the environmental science program, but I'm also coordinating within the Common Core. It's under the Common Core chapeau that we are here today. I won't do a long introduction because you will hear from Philip about all this journey and how we reached, or how he reached what he will share with us today. So I would just say that I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
To hear from you, to hear from all your experience that you have had all around the world. So thank you for sharing that with us, to inspiring us to go to, we all know that we are facing, and young one will face, even more challenging days when we think about the Earth sustainability. So I'm really happy to hear about your thoughts about how we can all take a part of this, achieving this more sustainable life and support the planet.
Let's hope.
Yes.
Let's
So
hope.
thanks for sharing. Thanks everybody for joining us. I know it's a mixed crowd from HKU and outside HKU, so thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. And we'll be listening.
Perfect. Maybe you just show me how to advance the slides. I actually, is there,
And then you use the mouse.
there's
or
no
use the
clicky
arrows.
clicky thing?
No, it's up to you. It will be
Okay.
easier this way.
All right. So I'm gonna move around a little bit. If people can't hear, can you, everybody hear? Yeah, it's clear. All right. Oh, I am wearing a mic. That'll
Yes.
help.
Yes.
All right, so that's good. Okay, so World Sustainability Tour. That is what I have been on pretty much for the last 20 years. A World Sustainability Tour. I've been traveling around the planet, and now, especially with Christelle's invitation, I'm talking about sustainability, governance, and particularly ethics, because we have a lot of talk about sustainability. We have a lot of talk about governance and how we're going to be controlled from above. But there's not a whole heck of a lot of talk about the ethics of what we're doing and who's controlling who. So I say, imagine a diverse, colorful, decentralized planet with a conscience. It will be what we make of it, right? It will be what we make of it. So it's really up to us, and you'll hear a lot about three: the society, environment, economy, three fingers, and we'll hopefully get you to become actual citizens of ConscienceLAND tonight, and also maybe embark on some activities that are not only helpful to the community, but also possibly helpful to you and your family. So here we are at the journey of the Planetpreneur. I just want to say that I have spoken to people before, a few times, and also school groups, and also quite large events with a lot of people. I think there's 1,400 people at this event. I think it was in Chengdu. Can't remember exactly, but how China saved the world, and we're in China now, and China's doing quite a job actually worldwide. Certainly it's consuming and issuing a lot of carbon, but actually there's an enormous amount of progress being done in China itself. So in comparison to many places in the world, it is doing a great job. Just a little point, some people are impressed by TEDx. So I've done TEDx's, and what I want to say about that is that we have started to say, well, it's not just TEDx, it's not just TED Talks, but it's also SDGx. So this is actually how we're embarking on a new way of being in the world, is that it's not just all the different information, cool things that we get addicted to by listening to them on YouTube, but also we have to begin, and that's what we have started, is our own channel, in effect, talking about who's doing what in the world. Where is my, well, I'll hold this up. who's doing what in the world on the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And we put an X there because it's not just the Sustainability Goals, it is the decentralized, independent global goals. And that will become important to you in a moment when we start talking about what has been happening around the world. Oh, okay, so I've also done some acting in, this is mostly in mainland China, different characters, Sigmund Freud, captains, she captains, and Esquire magazine, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. And I just tell you that because it's a great training. It's a very, very important thing to be getting out of yourself, you know, and maybe playing someone else for bits at a time. I tell you why, because we are also people who are, I don't want to get all metaphysical here, but you know, we are part of a greater whole, and we're really sort of playing a game. It's almost like Shakespeare said, you know, it's a stage, and we're actors upon it. So really, we do assume the roles, and we do think about what we ought to do, and that's how we make the world a better place, is by assuming positive roles. So I've got a few people up here. I don't know if you've ever seen this chap here, what is it, Deal or No Deal? America's Got Talent. Yeah, America's Got Talent. That's Howie Mandel. I met him in Canada actually a long time ago, and he did this three fingers thing. And this is a very famous rock musician. Yeah, in Rockstar. So you know, this is not a unique symbol. There's like hundreds and thousands of people around the world, and quite many celebrities, in fact, have also done this. Now, hey there, guys. Good to see you. Come on in. Yes, please. And we just have two new friends from Estonia. Whoops. It's okay, no worries. We'll just make sure that we're still looking in this general direction. Yeah, it's perfect. Can you just tell us who you are? Yeah,
I'm Philip.
Philip, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't ask me, yeah?
Easy to remember. I didn't.
You didn't ask me, yeah?
I didn't. Okay, I don't want to know what you're like. What is your name?
I'm Gary, Gary Sam.
Gary Sam. Nice to see you, Gary. Again, I saw him at a show just a minute ago. And these gentlemen I met at the Web Wow. What is it, Web3?
Wow.
Web Summit, yeah. And so thank you very much for coming, and don't worry. So this is a shot from, anyone guessing? COP28. COP28 in Dubai. This was the most recent conference of parties, the United Nations Conference of Parties at COP28. And the reason I sort of selected this one is not only the ring of truth and so on, but actionists aboard. I thought that was pretty interesting. And that's what I've begun to use. In fact, Christelle, we talked about that a little bit, of using the word action. What is it? Actionists, as opposed to activists. Unfortunately, the word activism, you know, in some circles has sort of a negative connotation, and it shouldn't, but it does. So what we want to do here is explore. This is the reason I've come to speak, is to explore CSR, ISR, SDGs, and the ESGs. Does anyone know what these are? Anyone? Just put a hand up. Yeah? Yeah. Every one of them? All four?
No.
Okay, what's the one you don't know?
ISR.
ISR. Anyone have a guess? Exactly. Individual social responsibility. And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about. And I put here wealth, wisdom, and wellness. Also, this sort of symbol kind of is like a W. And what are we looking for? We're looking for wealth. It's not just monetary wealth. We're looking for wealth of friends, a wealth of situations, wealth of things. And we need some wisdom. I think that we're having a little wisdom problem. And we want health, right? Well. So Juana John, this was a presentation for students of a university. So, you know, usually they're looking for a job. But I'm suggesting to fulfill your citizenship duty by signing up family, friends, and fellow planetpreneurs to work for the planet. The planet's name is Gaia. right? The Greek name is Gaia. So Gaia in ConscienceLAND for the Earth mobilization. I just want to mention that this three-finger symbol, except for 3-year-olds, is not usually used. Right? People that see the 2 fingers. Who the hell has used 2 fingers in a photo ever? Yeah, okay, 1 person. No, we all have pretty much, right? And actually, when I was teaching here at CUHK a long time ago, I'm also a photographer, and I used to take pictures of people just on the street, and when I pick up my camera, they would go like this. It was almost like there was a puppet string attached. You know, I'd just pick up my camera and their fingers would go up. So I got kind of annoyed actually, and I thought, hey guys, don't do that. Just be normal. Just do what you're doing. But then I thought to myself, who am I to tell people what to do? If they want to do this, that's up to them, right? It's nice. So I changed my thinking, and I thought, okay, how about I just suggest they add something? Because I was teaching corporate social responsibility. So I thought, social, economic, and environmental, the 3 pillars of society, environment, economy. And so that's where the 3-finger symbol came from, and the origin is here, Hong Kong. I don't know, 20 years ago. So that's, you see this old one here, that's the Dragonpreneur. That's the original, and the different versions of it. And what does the 3-finger sustainability symbol mean? Let's do a little audience participation thing here. Okay, what's 1? Peace plus, oh no, what's 2? I even got it wrong. What's this symbol? Hold up 2 fingers. 2 fingers. What is 2 fingers? Peace. What else?
Victory.
Victory, yes. What else? Yeah, victory is also very much used. What's another thing for V? I gotta take a picture of you guys.
3 or 2 you want?
Well, two first.
Right, two
Two
first.
first, okay. And then 3. So it's peace, 和平加一, okay? Peace plus 1. Peace plus 1. Join the fun. That's what we started a long time ago to indicate how people are being a little bit different. So let's start the adventure, the journey of the Planetpreneur. This is a picture of the Himalaya, actually. It's on the way up Everest. And this was taken in, I think, 2017. And you can see the 3-finger symbol there. And the big banner. Now this banner is the Sustainable Development Goals. Who knows about the Sustainable Development Goals? Do you know what they are? Okay, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Is that all? Okay, 5 people. So 5 people. What's the significance of the goals? Who made them? Any idea?
United Nations.
United Nations. But like when you say the United Nations, who are you talking about?
Of course, there is a particular committee called UNFCCC.
Yeah.
And they actually all together, they proposed the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals.
Right.
And that have been resolved by the United Nations General Assembly. So it's driven by UNFCCC.
It's driven by UNFCCC, but if I may say, it's the
Of course, in a narrow sense,
countries. It's the countries, right?
Yeah.
So in 2015, these 17 goals were signed off by 194 countries, okay, that constituted the world's countries that were supporting the UN's and SDGs. And so now we're what year? 2023, 4 now. How are we doing? Anybody know? How are we doing on these SDGs?
We're lacking behind.
Not so great, right? Yeah. In fact, even the reason I hold this up is because maybe some of you were here at the very beginning. I was talking. Oops, that's my mic. I was talking about how the SDGs are now 8 years in. I've been working on them for 8 years. I'm pretty frustrated, with slow movement. So we are starting with the SX. The X means independent. The The X means decentralized. Because the goals signed by 194 countries, the not Ban Ki-moon, Guterres, Antonio Guterres, the current Secretary General, a few months ago said, and he's the Secretary General of the UN, he said, we're woefully behind, or something. You know, he's trying to be polite and diplomatic, but basically he's saying we screwed up. We just have not done it. The countries have not come through with what they have agreed to do. So who does that leave? Who's going to fix it? Any ideas?
Us.
Huh?
Us.
Us. Yeah. I mean, who's left, right? Who's left? I was going to say, I was waiting for someone to say, Coca-Cola, like a corporation or something, right? Not in my lifetime, and maybe that's not very long, but so that's it. So the SDG challenge has been for 8 years to get these goals known, and I'm finding that actually people don't know that much. I mean, the general population doesn't know much, and since COVID, and even especially since these conflicts and wars and so on, the talk about climate, the talk about the SDGs is just about down to zero, right? And has the problem gone away? No, the problem's accelerating. But we're being guided away from talking about it, from thinking about it, from taking any action on it. Oh, also you've got some people here. Oh, that's me, and that's me. So that's close to the highest point in the world. That's Everest. And this is the Burj Khalifa. This is the highest point in Dubai. Actually, it's the highest building in the world, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it's the highest building in the world. So this banner, which I will bring out right now, this banner has been to the top of the planet. These two gentlemen took a picture with it.
But you have to share it with us.
Which, the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
picture.
we'll talk later. But everybody's welcome to very, very gently touch the top of the world. But literally, this is the top of the world. So this is kind of cool, right? Now, has it made a difference in the SDGs? Not one little bit. Not a tiniest bit. But that's kind of what we're talking about now, is we've got to, okay, the days of like an announcement and standing on stage and getting awards and all this kind of stuff and being patted on the back are over. It's over. Now it's action. Now it's work. Now it's getting down to make things happen. And that's me rollerblading over there. I like to rollerblade. Okay, we won't spend much time on this. This is just the banner around the world. Everywhere I go, we have this SDG banner, and so there's a whole bunch of places. We can talk about it later too. By the way, I'm going to rush through these things, and then at 7 o'clock, I'll finish. And if anybody wants to talk, stay. I think that's where we'll get most of the value. Okay, so there's the banner up at the summit. Okay, so, hi, that's good. That's great. Oh, nice. So, okay, white on white. What happened there, I wonder? Okay, so much for that slide. Okay, so threats and opportunities. I'm not going to go through this, only to say that this shift toward the SDGx is what we need to do. That's what I've just been talking about. The SDGs, all noble goals, but we're not doing it. They're noble global goals, but we're not doing much about it. So what we're proposing is that we use AI, for example. We have a lot of tools available to us, and many of these tools are going in the kind of wrong direction in terms of how we're, using less energy on the planet. Right? For instance, AI is using enormous amounts of energy, right, for stupid queries. But if we change our ways and realize how urgent it is that we start to we find the solutions to what's happening on the planet through using the information that's in AI, we can possibly accelerate not just how fast we can use our apps and how many pieces of junk we can buy, but instead turn that into how can we heal the earth? How can we heal ourselves? Oops, sorry. How can we heal ourselves, heal our communities, and heal the planet? So again, I keep coming up with this slide, want a job, because I think that this is what we should be talking about. It's not your corporate job that is important even. It's what job are you doing on the planet? What job is making the planet a safer place? So here we have the ConscienceVerse virtual benevobots. You're probably familiar with AI. AI is operating on large language models at this time, but we're heading toward situations where we have our own agents, our own bots. And these benevobots, wow, tip and dpin, you'll learn about dpin in a moment, they are sustainability agents, okay, for the planetary decentralized physical infrastructure network. So you're going to hear much more beyond what I tell you about dpin in the days and weeks to come, especially here in Hong Kong, because there's a lot of Web3 conferences and so on that are going to be about that. So DPIN, D-E-P-I-N, is decentralized physical infrastructure network. So in other words, it's not the AI, network or the internet itself, just phone to phone and all virtual. It's what is the interaction between our communication and the physical world. How is our communicating and transacting and so on, how is it affecting the physical world? And is it doing any good? Okay, so here's the chat SDG. This is sort of, it's not a joke, but it's kind of a humorous way of approaching ChatGPT, right? So it's saying, okay, we have ChatGPT, we have many different Claude and so on, we have many different AIs, large language models. We have many different ones. Now let's start to query those models on SDG related, Sustainable Development Goal related, or any sustainability related things in order to improve yourself, your health, improve your relationships, and improve the earth. Improve what we will soon talk about as Gaia plots. Okay, so this is join us in ConscienceLAND for SDGx Live. That's what we're doing today. And prompting AI and humanity toward a sustainable future. Okay, well this is, all right, okay, get out of here. Well, actually in the handouts, I have some handouts here, and these are responses from AI on questions about, what can I do to achieve the harmony and corporate social responsibility and ESG. So you'll see that in the printed out paper. All right, so here's the basic fundamental concept of what I'm trying to propose here, is that dragonpreneurship, which I probably glossed over, when I first started teaching here in Hong Kong, back when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, the dragons, they were called dragons then, and I started this program called Dragonpreneurship, entrepreneurship with Chinese characteristics. Why? Because I'm from Canada, I'm not from China, but I'm teaching in China, and I'm impressed with the difference and the betterness in many cases of how entrepreneurship happens here. And so I was impressed, and I thought, okay, let's put this in a formal framework. But that's a long time ago. Now it's 20 years later, and China's doing just fine on the entrepreneurship score. But now we need planetpreneurship. Okay, we need to be planetpreneurs. We need to, in our activities, which are fundamentally money making, we need to shift our efforts toward money making on healing the earth, healing ourselves. So, so we've talked about the three-finger symbol. Now the token of friendship meme. This is the thing we'll get into in a moment. The friendship meme. It's called a three-finger sustainability symbol. You know that, what it means. And now I've noticed in my travels that this is really a friendship. It's really something that identifies people as part of the solution as opposed to be part of the problem. Because anyone who's part of the problem won't do this. It's very interesting. It's like garlic or something, or silver bullets or something. They don't. People won't do this if they're kind of evil. So it's a great way to sort of separate it out. So it's a token of friendship meme, and some of you are aware of what's going on in the crypto world these days, and that's that the meme coins are going crazy. So what we're proposing is that, well, this is not a frivolous meme coin, but maybe we can, as a friendship coin, as a pay it forward token, a token of friendship. There's no money involved. This could maybe lead some people out of their lonely behaviors, right? Sitting in basements, scrolling and left, right, to a social offline. Get people together. Get people enjoying themselves in a group. Using AI and social media for healing ourselves, our communities, and our planet. So the story of desperately seeking sustainability, not desperately seeking Susan. A meme to bring the world together, 3 fingers at a time. So I would like right now to invite you to become citizens of ConscienceLAND. So we have 3 questions, and it requires everyone to answer the 3 questions. Number 1 question, do you have a conscience? No? Yes? Yes? Okay. Excited. Okay. You have a conscience. Yes. Everybody has a conscience? You have a conscience? Yes. Okay. Do you act on your conscience? Okay. We're starting to get some honest answers here. Okay, excellent. Excellent, excellent. Because most of us, in a pressure situation, we say, "Oh yes, I do," but do you really? Do you actually act on your conscience all the time? Of course you don't. If you did, you'd be in jail. So no. We try our best, but actually, in the world, at least the world I live in, it's not even possible. You couldn't do it. You couldn't live by your conscience all the time. You really would have a seriously difficult time. Is that the world you want to live in? No, I don't. I want to live in a world that doesn't have that problem. Okay, so do you act in your conscience? And the third question is, what's the third question? It's right up on the. Yeah. Do you serve your community? What's your answer? Again, that's an honest answer. Yeah, maybe. Do we as much as we should, as much as we know we should? Probably not. But it's a good wake-up call, because we need to, as things have happened in the world, we really do need to start to make better connections and relationship with our community. Would you agree? Yes. No? Yes? Yes. Okay. Good. I hope so. Because really, it's not very social if you aren't. Okay, so now you're all now citizens of ConscienceLAND. Are you happy? The Sustainies, Roger the Reality Rooster, and LCP Low Carbon Planet, are just cheering like crazy for you. Yay! Okay, so you're citizens of ConscienceLAND now. Is that good? Yes? Yeah, okay, good. So bingo bongo, you're citizens of ConscienceLAND. Now there are 3 affirmations. Okay, 3 affirmations that go along with citizenship. Can someone read the first one? Or everybody read it together.
I do no harm. I do not fear. I live better than I found.
Which one do you like the best? The third one?
Yeah.
It's pretty good, isn't it? Imagine if we actually operated this way. If we tried to do this, 50% of the time, or 2% of the time, if in everything we did, our relationships with people, what we're doing with ourselves, if we leave it better than we found it. I think personally, from just talking to hundreds and hundreds of people about this, I think that's really the most important thing, and it can make a big difference. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of people here who have also shared this idea, and one of the things we hope happens, and it's already happening, but is that we have sort of a snowball effect. We have more and more people kind of doing it. Now you probably recognize, anyone you recognize? Anybody know anybody on this? Call out the name. if you know, if you recognize anybody.
Greta Thunberg.
Oh yeah, Greta. Yep, Greta's there with the Sustainies. Roger the Reality Rooster, LCP Low Carbon Pen. You know, these are very, very silly little things, but you know, they've been around. They went up Everest. You know, they've been held by all kinds of people. They're kind of rough shape now, but they're my mascots. So who else? Well, there I am. That's how young I was once. I was once young. So there you go. And do you recognize anyone in this one? You know who this guy is? It says his name right here. James Cameron. You know Titanic? The film and so on? Yeah, so there's a lot of, you know, this, I guess the acting helped, you know, connect with people. So that was that. And so these are just more pictures, you know, the bull in New York. Where is it? Somewhere there, here. This is in New York City, the bull. And you know what this is? Here. Any idea? It's just like a spray paint thing. Very famous guy. Giving as many clues as I can. Banksy. You heard of Banksy? Yeah. So that was a Banksy. That was in what's the name of the place? Marble Arch in London. We were camping, protesting, camping, hanging out, and got up in the, what was it? No, that's at night. Anyway, I guess in the afternoon he made that thing, and so the Sustainies went and sat down and took a picture, and it was gone the next day. It wasn't gone. It was covered with a plexiglass because they're very well. They're worth a lot of money. Those Banksies once they're done. Oh, and there's me again at the United Nations in where was that? Oh, that was Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. Okay, so, oh, this is a guy. Oh, I put his name up. You know who this is? This guy. This is Sustaining Clause, by the way. That's my alter ego. You know who this is? It says it right there. But who is he? Dr. James Hansen. No. For the environmental studies people, no? This guy's the father of climate change, basically. He did a study on Venus, how Venus became Venus. You know, the greenhouse effect. and then he sort of reflected, you know, that's happening here. This is like 40 years ago, and so he made presentations to the U.S. Congress and stuff like that. And, you know, it's 40 years later, and so on. So this guy, when I met him, this is in Paris in 2015. When I met him, it was the first time he had come to a COP conference because he was so effed off. You know, he was so mad with the whole system that he only finally came in, and so on. So there you go. Okay, I just want to sort of remind people that all of this talk is not about any kind of, it's not about some functionality. It's not really about what you learn in school, quite honestly. You know, I used to teach in school. I used to be in school. I know school. School is good. But there's a lot of things that you can learn from maybe others and experience, and one of them is take your power back. Meaning, don't be pushed around too much at all, in fact. You know, return to basics, rules, and instincts, your own rules, your own instincts. What I tried to get to a little earlier is that we are, you know, we are special beings in the universe, and we have the capacity to change and be basically whatever and tap into whatever we need to make this life special, this one on this planet. I'm not trying to go woo-woo on you, but you know, there's a lot of work to be done, and we need a lot of passion and interest and energy directed toward healing the planet. But that doesn't happen without, oops, without tapping the microphone. It doesn't happen without healing yourself, right? It doesn't happen. It can't happen. So that's, I mean, you've heard it a million times, but really, seriously, you must heal yourself and get your own situation in order, and then heal your relationships with your community, and then we can heal the earth and the planet itself. And I wrote that at the bottom here. And so I say the Stargate is actually within you. You know, the way to wherever it is we're going is through here, is through yourself. Okay, yeah. So Dragonpreneur and Dragon Think, this is one of the early activities in the ESG area. Why? Because even though ESG wasn't really talked about in 2007, this conference was put on by basically corporations in Hong Kong at the same time as a sort of a COP type thing. And this is where I introduced the Three Fingers, and it was all about business. It was all about how the architectural firms were going to make money by, you know, building eco-cities, etc. And I subsequently went on to working for, well, this is the EPD, the Environmental Protection Department of Hong Kong government. You probably recognize this dude. That's Jack Ma. And I just realized after I put this poster, this picture in, you know, no beard. You know who Booz Allen Hamilton is? You ever heard the name Booz Allen Hamilton? You ever heard the name, not Julian Assange, who's the other guy? Who's the guy that was the spy guy?
Snowden.
Who? Snowden, yeah, Snowden. He worked for Booz Allen Hamilton. Yeah, so that was what. Hi, come on in. You're just in time for the Dragonpreneur and Dragon Think. So this is very appropriate for this year, because this is Year of the Dragon. I'm even wearing a tie in celebration of that. So why are we talking about that? Well, Hong Kong is very, very connected with Dragon, you know, and that power is, I think, what's happening in the world. I think that this Dragon power is however you would imagine that or manifest that. It's this multi animal being. It's a multi-force being that we are becoming. We are not. Most of us are moving toward diversity and hopefully not toward, you know, a monoculture and just sort of just knowing how to do one thing. We have to get very, very flexible in our approach to things. Why? A lot of reasons. AI is one of them. You know, you're probably familiar with the fact that we're dealing with large language models right now and generative models, but we're inching very close. Not inching, we're racing actually very close to AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is an exponential capacity of information flow, which we have no idea. When it arrives, we will not even understand what's happening. It'll be so fast, so beyond us, that we won't have any idea. So that being said, you'll understand what's coming next, what I'm talking about next in ConscienceLAND. Because I probably didn't make that clear, but we're in ConscienceLAND here. ConscienceLAND is wherever you are, right? It's wherever your conscience is. So a meme is a form of social currency. And I put down below that V2S, value to society. This is a question I'd like to ask you. Who can I pick on? Does anyone volunteer? What is your value to society as an individual? What do you feel is your value to society? I don't see a lot of hands shooting up, because I would be first to not shoot my hand up here's a brave man. What do you feel is your value to society?
I believe it's my knowledge, my skills, and my experience.
Okay, that's yours for you, but what is your value to this greater?
With all these three, I'm able to create products, to create services that's beneficial to all.
It's beneficial. Okay, so the things that you do, you believe are beneficial to others, making their lives easier or healthier or something. Okay, absolutely, good. That's good thinking. You're building yourself up in order that you can help others. Is that that's close to what you're talking about? Okay. Anyone else thoughts on what is your value to society? It's a difficult question.
I think I have some value, although it's not very consistent, but some value as a parent, and as a grandparent.
Absolutely.
As a son. They might not agree.
No, it doesn't matter if they agree or not. It's only about your own care, right? But that's
and in my job teaching here, then I think that there is some value to
I hope so too.
Hope so.
Yeah. No, but I mean, these are important. I think it is actually an important question. I think it's worth. I've never heard anybody ask that question before. Has anyone heard that question asked of them or someone else before? What's your value to society? You have.
Yeah.
Who asked who?
Buddhism.
Buddhism. Oh, okay. Is that a
It's
tenet of Buddhism?
where your personal, let's say, goal is less relevant than the greater goal, and if you amplify to the greater, then
That's your value.
That's your value.
That's beautiful. That's excellent. Well, there you go. So I actually wasn't aware of that, and now I am. And I think it's a very, very difficult question for most of us. What's your value to society? Because we're so driven, we're so like, career, and get this certificate, and that certificate, and get this job, and get this level of money, and get this car and house, and like it's all a get stuff. And not so much about what is it I'm offering, how am I helpful to the greater good, as you put it. Anyway, so clearly that's something that we don't think much about, but I don't know if you agree, should we? Yes? Yeah? Okay, good. Because
I think it's great.
It's what?
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah, to question this specific
Absolutely.
question and create this self-inquiry. And then it's not enough, because as you're told, it's a thought, but it's a call to action. And the thing is that individual action is very limited. So required is a call to collective action. Yeah.
And you want to come up here? No, but seriously, this is exactly what we're talking about, is that this thinking that it's about collective action, but it's collective action as what? As an individual. You're individually and collectively, it's not blaming it on the group. Like if the group makes a mistake, it's not, oh, it's the group's mistake. No. It's you, how you're contributing, how you're helping the group achieve the goals and so on. And really think about this a lot. Think. We're entering a time where what would happen if the electricity went off in Hong Kong now, right now? What would happen? Chaos, absolute chaos, right? So, especially because it's evening, in the middle of the day it might not be such chaos, but certainly at the nighttime it will be enormous chaos. I mean, we won't go through it, but sometimes I have gone through with a group of people, like, what would be the next thing that would happen? And it's very interesting exercise, because really you think of things that you take for granted, that really even one small thing, one thing, electricity going off, would absolutely throw us, even someone who's used to climbing mountains and rafting rivers, it would throw me too, of course. Why? Because I'm so acclimatized, I'm so used to the convenience. Okay, so I'm just saying this is a meme, right? It's a symbol that has meaning. And I've just gone through how, it has formed a meaning over the years. Every Wednesday, which by the way is today. Today is Change Wednesday, the day we do 3 things. So in ConscienceLAND, where you are right now, every Wednesday and that's every Wednesday, this Wednesday, next Wednesday, the previous Wednesday, we do 3 things. Number 1, smile and make other people happy. When you make other people happy, how do you feel? Happy. There's at least one happy person here. Okay, so no, it's right? Does that make sense? When you make other people happy, it's kind of like value of society. It's like when you make other people happy, how do you feel about making other people happy? Well, I feel happy, certainly, and the person who you made happy feels happy. Win-win. Perfect. Second thing, change something about who. No, pick on someone else. Can I change you? Can I change you? Say no. No, you can't. You can't change other people. No, you can influence people, right? You can influence people, but you can't change them, right? You can only change yourself. That's the only person that can change you. You can be influenced. You know, you hold a stick over somebody's head and influence them, but you know they will usually change back to the same behavior as soon as the threat is taken away. Okay, and the third one is unplug. Now this poster, I just found this old poster in my files because this is so old. This was from the days when change your Facebook. Look at that. You know, it sounds how Neanderthal my thinking was, right? Right? Change your Facebook. Stupid. But anyway, you get the drift, right? It was change something about yourself. Image, avatar, to share 3 fingers and change your attitude, make yourself happy. And I've improved over the years, the spiel, but you get the drift. Smile and make other people happy. Change something about yourself. Stop a bad habit and start a good habit, right? Because you can't change other people. And the third one is unplug. Why unplug what? Any thoughts? Unplug.
Electricity?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, quite an exercise. What? Come on, guys.
Unplug the computer to stop working for a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically that's it. We say unplug, like from your phone and your things and your social media. Put it away, turn it off, and talk to your family and your friends face to face. Okay? For 3 hours every Wednesday evening, tonight, for 3 hours from 6 to 9. Just do that as a habit. Test it out. It's really, really hard. It's really super hard. But if we started to make that habit, just like asking our question, what's our values in society, we possibly could, accelerate. Okay, so these are just more blah 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 pictures, but they're sort of fun for people who especially mainland China, because this gentleman here is from mainland. Do you know who this is? Yalan, yeah. And yeah, Li Bingbing here. Yeah. You know what that is? Yeah, and so I was very fortunate, very honored. I gave a talk at the Great Hall of the People, and in 2009. So that's quite a while ago. But it was well received. Look at this. I mean, these are pretty big deals. These people, and they're all doing the 3 fingers. 经济社会关系，天地人和。All right, so that's kind of fun, at least for me, because I picked out these things over the last couple of days, thinking, oh my God, what crazy stuff I've been doing all these years. So 2008, 2010, 3 fingers, giving the 3 finger salute, and so on. And okay, this is now a little more recent, 2023. We were mentioning about ESGs, the SDGs specifically. I want to be encouraging, but my challenge is that my experience of traveling and being here, for example, in Dubai, is that there's a lot of earnest people, honest and earnest people who are trying. I think this young lady in the back is one of them, is trying to get these sustainability goals and so on, trying to get them implemented. But there's just enormous forces that are working in the opposite direction. And they have a lot of money, enormous amounts of money, and they have enormous power, and their legacy, they're installed. They're not moving at all. Except for one thing. The ones with beards. No, I'm saying the old people. You're not old, but you know, because they're gonna die off. Right? So that's not a happy thought, but that is a reality, is that we need to act now to get systems in place so that the younger people who don't have a clue what to do, right? That's why I keep saying, you know, what's your job? Here, do you know what your job is? Your job is to get a job, but who are you getting a job with? Well, it could be a major corporation or whatever you want, but it could also be get a job, or you make a job, or you create a sustainable system, product, whatever, you organize some activities and move the needle in the direction of sustainability by your action. Okay? Make money, hopefully, and in that system while we're still making money. But also we have an economic, right? Society, environment, economy. How's the economy doing? I know in Canada it sucks. Really bad. It's like cost of living is just through the roof. In fact, there are no roofs because people can't afford the house. You know? You gotta sell the roof to pay for the food. That's a joke. Didn't work. Okay, so but you get the drift, right? We're in a position, it's sort of like an inflection point where, okay, the old sort of legacy world, yeah, it kind of worked okay for a small group of people since the 1950s, but now not working. So we're educating young people. Now we need to educate young people to be energetic about their future as a positive thing and work toward a sustainable effort. So find the ways to do things, whatever it is you wish to do, but as long as it's not hurting the planet, that's a bonus. It's not hurting other people, and you're not manufacturing bombs or something, right? You know, that's not helpful, right? Just a little point on that. I was reading an article about the amount of, I won't say what conflict, but you know, there are a couple of wars going on, and in one day, the amount of carbon release and so on just undoes everything we're doing. It's pretty nuts. So really, guys, we've got to influence those who have this power over us to stop doing that, stop dropping those bombs. Because not only are they killing people, they're killing everybody. Right? Okay, so I don't want to be depressing, but I also do want to be realistic. And that's why I got on the front page of the College Times. This is kind of crazy, but you know, Sustainia Claus, the Sustainable Santa, with the Sustainies, managed to get his message on this is, College Times is like, there's two big papers, College Times and Gulf News. I've been in both. But one was 25 years ago in Dubai when I was running a sports company, and now, last year, in College Times. So maybe I'll just tell you very quick, because it has to do with the sustainability. That picture here, this picture here, is 25 years ago I was in Dubai with a company I had called Explorasport, and I was talking in the newspaper. They wrote an article about what I was talking about, and I said, this will become, I'm wanting it to become, or I'm imagining it becoming, a hub for adventure, a hub for adventure speakers, a hub for, not the adventures themselves so much, because there's not too many mountains there, but a hub for the people, the communication about adventure travel. Back in those days, we didn't even think about carbon release and stuff. You know, we were just talking about the adventure. Now, 25 years later, I come to Dubai. I'm invited to speak at a show or a conference, which is exactly that subject that I had spoken about in the competing newspaper 25 years before. So the reason I mention that is, first of all, it's kind of eerie, but also, if you believe in simulation theory, you know, maybe this is just, we're just all living in a simulation, because this is like a game to me. I seem to do things in 25-year cycles. It seems to happen. Now, this gentleman at the back said his value to society was as a parent, and I agree 100%, 100 and more %. Because I personally think that this is one of the biggest problems in my travels all around the planet, and this is why I'm so happy a family is here, an entire family is here at this talk, because parenting is the most important job on the planet. It's the most important job on the planet. Can you imagine if you had not so great parents, right? Because you would turn out not so great. And sure, kids are resilient, and sure, communities tend to, you know, help kids grow up. But fundamentally, it is your parents. And I'm afraid that, you know, in the TikTok era, in the era of distracted parents, and the rest of it, and two parents who can't stay home, like if two parents go off to work, in that environment, I think we're really shortchanging our children. I think it's a really serious thing. It's not natural at all. Not at all natural. It's completely for the purpose of making money to pay the rent and buy the food, right? But it has nothing to do with community. It has nothing to do with the origin of that food. It has nothing to do with the maintenance of the water and the viability of the water, the cleanliness of the water, and so on. No. Everything we're doing is to pollute, is to buy more, to consume more, and especially, I thought that was the next slide. We were going to say especially bottles. Okay, I'm going to get to that at the very next slides. Because, okay, we talked about, you know, what our responsibilities for, whether you're a citizen of ConscienceLAND or not, what our values to society was, and the most recent comment about parenting. Parenting is incredibly important. Why? Because it's a role model. You're modeling behavior. You're modeling reactions. You're modeling how young people grow up. And that's how we are all formed. Okay, so now we need to show how the world we're living in is not sustainable, clearly not. So we need to move toward a sustainable world. Now this slide has 57 trillion 3 meter by 3 meter Gaia plots, or SDG plots. What it's saying is, that's not 57 trillion, of course, those are just little colored squares. But they represent the idea that there are these 3 meter by 3 meter areas covering the Earth, and that is the game board of ConscienceLAND. Okay? There are no countries in ConscienceLAND. There are no borders in ConscienceLAND. In ConscienceLAND, it's the Earth and you. It's just your being here, right? And your ISR, your individual social responsibility, because you are responsible for what you do. Not when you're a kid, but your parents are responsible for your kid. You know, so kids can tend to be very responsible if they're given a responsible model. So we say heal yourself, heal your community, and heal your SDG plot. It's basically heal the Earth, right? But we're dividing it up now into these plots, these 3 meter by 3 meter areas that you take 100 of them and you look after them. You plant trees on them. You clean the beach. You look after the coral reef. There's maybe an orphanage on that area, or some product that you're thinking of creating that's in an area, right? You look after it, right? You monitor it. Even if there's nothing happening on that area, maybe you could just leave it alone, but monitor that it's being left alone, right? For instance, Max at the back, he's a CEO of a company called Carbon Base, and that's some of the things that they're involved in are looking after, helping people who are looking after huge tracts of land, right? Maintain, like, don't cut the trees on it, just but they have to be maintained, right? They got to keep the poachers out, and you've got to keep the fires from burning it, and so on. So it's not about using it or cutting it down, but you still have to look after it. You still have to monitor it. So that's the idea of ConscienceLAND, is that how do we assemble ourselves? It's not that we all work together, because we don't do that naturally, but we need to have some kind of a game board on which to operate. Now, I made this slide just as sort of almost as a joke, but do you have an idea who it is? Oh, I put it, neighbors.
Lucy?
That's first human, Lucy, first upright walking primate. So there I've just written Lucy blockchain DPIN. Now that's the evolution. I'm just sort of making a bit of a joke, but here's the, and this is Jihan Chu. He's a guy that made a lot of mining machines for blockchain. And this is Pin, Wild Tip and Pin, one of the three Benevobots, who's a cell phone with a hat thing and so on. So that represents this physical infrastructure network. Okay, so the ConscienceLAND, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I have some sheets to give out to people, but it's basically this idea of looking after looking after the earth. So I want to point out that there are opportunities for people. We call them planetpreneurs. Thank you very much for coming. Can I give you one of these to just take with you? Yeah, let me give you one of these so you don't. This also tells a bit of the story about the ESGs. Okay, so how's our time doing, by the way?
7:03.
It's by 7 already.
Okay, so let's it's very short to wrap it up here. And if anybody wants to stay after 7, I'm here, of course, to chit-chat with you, and especially about all the opportunities. But let me just go through this quickly. What we're trying to say here in ConscienceLAND is that we need to start to make money out of different ways, out of ways that are. This is a picture of coffee, for example, that we had in mainland China. So they used our 3 fingers as a sort of a validation system, and we want to expand that. That was a great idea. We have the panda, who is actually a trademarked thing. We want to find people who are working in robotics and stuff like that to actually execute this. UBI and our catalog, all of these things, excuse me, all of these things are products. There's some money to be made, but we're trying to create or encourage. We're trying to encourage people to work on a sustainability track, right? Use the corporate social responsibility and so on. The reason I show you this picture is anyone who's involved in blockchain stuff, you probably know. Well, now you know 2 of those people.
Yeah.
One, who is it?
Lucy.
Right.
Italian.
Yeah, it's Vitalik. And so look at, there's only 2 people doing 3 fingers in that picture, right? Vitalik and myself. So there's an indication. There's one of the most famous people in blockchain, and he knows. I've spoken to him many times about how these conferences, they're not going in the direction that both of us have talked about. They're not doing social good. They're just doing make money, quick money. But that's changing, and we're going to change that away. This is just a picture of myself at a show that we were at. 52 playing cards issued many years ago, and I'm one of them. So it's sort of an OG kind of thing.
Should have been the 3 of us.
What's that?
Should have been the 3 of us.
Right. Oh, yeah. I thought it's similar, very similar thing. Okay. So what we talk about is a donut tokenomics. Now, it is a kind of a deep thing, but I don't think we have to get too deep into it. Are you familiar with? Yes, of course. Are you familiar with Kate Raworth? Do you know who Kate Raworth is? Donut economics? No? Okay. Well, Kate Raworth, a woman from the UK, she wrote a book a few years ago, a very good book, about how we can possibly live within our planetary limits. And so, are we living in our planetary limits? Yes, this gentleman gave us 3 fingers. Thank you so much. You know, how can we live within it? It's very, very difficult. But what I'm proposing is this idea of donut tokenomics, because the decentralized world works largely on tokens. It largely, the economy works on digitized assets, real world assets, and so on. It operates on this, what I'm talking about earlier, DPIN, a decentralized physical infrastructure network. And so, not going to do it tonight because we're out of time, but if you're interested, we'll talk a little bit after, but we can connect again. I will give you QR codes if you're interested to connect with me about how you can become like a trainer, learn more about it, contribute to this effort to create a new economics, basically, right? It's not even creating a new one. It's just there is a fantastic decentralization effort happening already, and so let's benefit from it, and also let the world benefit from it. So here again, Philip McMaster's ISR, Individual Social Responsibility Tokenomics, Donut Tokenomics, and Kate Raworth's ESG, Donut Economics. Kate Raworth is a fantastic writer and economist, but she's working from within university, and she's writing as if the system can be maintained, but just, you know, make it a little better. I'm not of that belief. I think that we have to do things in a much faster way. So I say here, Philip McMaster's Donut Tokenomics and Kate Raworth's Donut Economics both emphasize the importance of sustainable development and the need to operate within planetary boundaries. Okay, that's a given, right? Even the sustainable development, you know, we can't develop that much, but we can, yes, please do that. Thank you. And thanks to everybody who stayed for the full hour. Appreciate it. And I understand if you have to go, no problem. But please take one of the sheets, and I will stay a little longer. So, however, they approach these goals from different perspectives and utilize different scales of state, economic mechanisms, sets of actor participants, and levels of freedom, commitment, and urgency. So, I'm encouraging you to learn what we're doing or become involved in somehow, because I really believe, just like the electricity going off, I think that we need to get a new set of economic skills and a new set of relationships with our community, relationships with each other, that are going to give us that edge, if you will, that especially students, as they learn systems. They're learning one system, legacy system, not really working. Got to start to learn other systems that maybe aren't even available yet, but we have to put a lot of commitment into them, and they've got to do it pretty urgently. So you can see that, what's his name? Homer. Homer Simpson. I took a picture of this in a shopping mall in China somewhere, I can't remember where it was, and I thought, what, it's a great picture. This is Homer Simpson with 3 fingers. So I thought that was very cool. So heal yourself, heal your community, and heal the planet. I'm sure this message is getting through to you now, is that these are the 3 key things that we need to do in our lives. We have to heal ourselves first. We have to heal each other in our communities. And that's the only way we're going to get this planet in order. So the token is a pay it forward. This is the idea of how do we get people to work for free? You know, we call it LOVE in ConscienceLAND. You know what LOVE stands for? lifestyle of voluntary effort, right? That's what a mother gives their child, right? Their mother love is voluntary. They're not paid to do it. And it's done with commitment. It's done because they love and they know that they're responsible and they have to do it. So this is the same thing we need to start to adopt with regard to our communities and the earth itself. So Peace Plus One Manifesto, you can go to that code if you're able to scan it. You can go to that code and check it out. That's a manifesto on the blockchain. It means it's never going to go away. It's never going to be erased. It can't be erased. It's a part of the blockchain. So that these words here, which are actually on the blockchain. Did you come up with it? Did you get it?
Yes.
Yeah? Work?
iPhone.
Yeah, cool. So that's a manifesto. That's our three-finger token, and it's a pay it forward token. Hey, hi Andy. So there you go. So this is kind of special in that this is a manifesto first, a pay it forward system. Now, is there money involved? There might be down the line, but what's more important? The more important thing is that we get our communities in a resilient and sustainable situation. Why? Because if things keep going the way they appear to be going, and hopefully they're not actually going to go much further that way, then we need this help. We must do this. So yes, please go ahead. So that's the token, and that's blank sheet. So DPIN infrastructure opportunity. Now, here's a very interesting. DPIN is decentralized physical, thank you, see you later. Decentralized physical infrastructure. And the DPIN conscience verse is this conscience verse moving away from the existing structures toward a decentralized infrastructure. You've heard of IoT, Internet of Things, and this kind of stuff. Well, that's happening, but it is a little bit frightening in some ways because it's a centralized way of seeing what everybody else is doing, right? So we're working hard on decentralized ways of interacting in a physical network. And that's clearly important, and Andy's here. He's gonna like this next picture, right? So what we're talking about, we have to get practical. We need to start to get practical, right? And it's not only the practicality of Homer Simpson predicting that everything that he's predicted is, or the Simpsons have predicted, is coming to fact, but the fact that we are trying to recycle, or no. We have been told about recycling for our whole lives. Does anyone here not know recycling is a thing that exists? Of course you do, right? How many people here actually recycle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5, even if it was half the people. Like, did I raise my hand? No. Actually, I don't. I mean, I do when it's convenient and so on, but it's not convenient. The whole thing is we're not using it's not easy for us to do it. And also there's really no reward. So this is why Andy in the back here with the pink shirt here, he actually makes this machine. 3 fingers, Andy. He makes this machine. And I'm of the opinion that it is a fantastic concept. And there's 200 of these things all in the Bay Area right now, in the greater Bay Area. So this is not an imaginary thing. This is a real working bottle recycling. But the thing is, what we're proposing to do is these become embassies in ConscienceLAND because they're physical things. They can be moved around, but basically they're physical things. And yes, please take one of those. But they are a node. People will come to them. Ideally, like right now, it's just bottles. But as this evolves, there will be many other types of things that can be recycled. But if we can possibly create this sort of chain of behavior where you buy a bottle of whatever drink it is, and then you use it, and then you put it in that machine and you get credit. It's like the old days of getting a what was it, glass bottle. You know, you put a deposit on it, you got the money back, and so on. But the beauty of this is, as a decentralized infrastructure, we're talking about this kind of effect in communities. If we start to get people in the business of recycling, making products which are recyclable, reducing the amount of plastic used, and starting to maybe bring back the glass bottles or something like that. You know, if there's some real force from the consumer side, look at the symbol. Do you know what this is? Where is this from? Huh? Yeah, it is an infinity symbol, sort of broken, but it's from the SDGs. It's SDG number 12, responsible consumption and production. How are we doing on that? Terrible, useless, terrible. Right? We're not doing any. You know, we got luxury goods coming out of our wazoo. We're doing plastic scrap that we're buying on Amazon. We have. It's like, what is the recycling rate? 3%, 7%, some pathetic percentage. You know, like, it's not working. We're talking, and we're not doing it. So what the proposal here is that we build ConscienceLAND as a citizenship, and as a citizen, you have access to all kinds of benefits, the easier life, the more, you know, the cheaper electricity and these kind of things, and you're maintaining these things, you're using them, you're promoting them, and you know, like carbon capture machines are millions of dollars each. How effective are they? You've got to have billions of them to be effective. So I think one way we can do it is take a model from the vending machine industry. They're everywhere, especially in Japan. They're everywhere, the vending machines, to vend out stuff. This is a reverse vending machine. This is taking in stuff. This is recycling. So that's one of the thoughts, is we move on this to get action happening on basically building trust in our society. We have to begin to trust our neighbors. Is there a reason to trust them now? Not much, right? Everybody's in there for themselves, and I think we just really have to get back to what is it we're doing in our communities? Who are we supporting? You know, are we supporting the corporations at the expense of our neighbors? Like, why are we doing this? So I think we can make that happen. And as I say, are you up for the job? Can we do that? So fulfill your citizenship duty by signing up family, friends, and fellow planetpreneurs, and start working for Gaia. If you take anything away from this little bit of talk here, these are the last 3 slides. If you take anything away, this is the effort. The ESGs, the SDGs, CSR, corporate social responsibility. I have been involved in it for many, many years. I used to teach corporate social responsibility actually at CUHK, and I have to admit, I'm pretty disappointed that after all of this time, and there's another QR code coming up next, after all of this time, you know, years, we're still not doing it. And I'm not blaming you. I mean, the corporations are not doing it. They're not set up to do it. If you're a CEO of a corporation and you do some social, you know, spend money on social good, you're fired. You know, so like that's not conducive to this behavior. So we really have to do a lot of decoupling, decentralizing, getting back to community, getting together, cleaning beaches, playing, having fun on the Conscience LARP, live action role-playing game. I didn't really go over that with you, but that's what we need to do. So I can finish up here, the last thing I want to really connect with you on is we need a lot of help. And I think there's a lot of people here who are skilled at social media or organizing parties and events and actually being guests on our SDGx Live and or helping us produce the podcast, videographers, animators, and so on. We need these people, and actionists, as I pointed out from that train, you know, doers and makers, builders and creators. There's a lot of work to do, and it's not unfun work. It's actually pretty cool and pioneering. And you saw that many of the people that I've met over the years, they like this. They think it's great. So now we need to get more and more people involved in it and get ways that people are earning a living, they're getting recognition, they're getting respect, and they're really on the right side of history. I think this is critically important. So scan that code if you can, because that code will bring you to our sign-up page. That's the sign-up page for ConscienceLAND. My name is Philip McMaster, also SustainAPlause, and the two websites I put here are ConscienceLAND, which is the land of conscience, and ExtinctionSolution.com. The Extinction Solution is right in the name. Extinction Solution. I hope we're not heading toward extinction. I don't think that's a nice thought. But if we are working on solutions, and if we're addressing the problem with energy and pleasure and fun, I think we can really make it happen, make a difference. So there we go. I think that is the last slide. I want to thank you so much. I want, first of all, though, to take a photo. Would you be okay with taking a photo with the big banner? Because, you know, so many other famous people have had their hands on the banner. I want you to also participate in that. So if that's okay, is that all right? Yeah. I'd like to invite you to come up to the front here, and we'll just, actually just wait 1 second. I will unfold the banner.
With this one?
No, it's actually this big one. It's a biggie. It's a huge banner. Now the story of this thing is that we brought this up Everest, but only to the base camp, which is still, 15,000 feet. It's not that short, but this is very fragile now. This banner is like I've traveled around and folded it up and and so on. So what we're going to maybe do, I think we will do it, we're going to make an NFT out of it. Do you know what an NFT is? A non-fungible token? Because it's like a piece of art. There's only one in the world. There's only one of these things, for sure. And it's got all the rips and tears and bumps and grinds, and plus the people. You saw so many of the photos. Those are over, what, 8 years. 8 years of people. That's a lot of people. And so this is part of the dream that I have, is that we get more and more people to become citizens of ConscienceLAND, right? Which you remember, do you have a conscience? Do you act in your conscience? Do you serve your community, right? Bingo bongo, you're a citizen of ConscienceLAND. That's all you need to do. Citizenship in ConscienceLAND is very, very easy. So that's all you need to do. And imagine if we got, 3 people each, just 3 of our friends or family or whatever, just, exponentially, you'd have all of China in 48 hours, like if you actually did that. So the chance of influencing the world is very high if we share the 3-finger symbol, we share citizenship in ConscienceLAND, and what we're proposing is that we actually have a token system, which we will give to those people who share in a photo their 3 fingers on social media. Little bots will go on and search the thing, and if you have a picture on social media, you'll be airdropped a token, right? But that's only the people who have done this, which is thousands, but it's not the whole population. So this means you will be pioneers. In a movement, we call it the Earth Mobilization, a movement that makes a difference. It's going to save ourselves. the planet will be fine without us, but we won't want that. We want to stay here too. And we have a plan. AI, I've described a little tiny bit of what the plan with AI is, and it's brilliant. I've been told by people who are much smarter than me, it's a very good plan, and it's possible, and we can do it. So come on up, folks. I'll unfold this, and we'll hold the banner, and we'll just, because the light's sort of coming this way anyway, isn't it? Yeah, let me turn this. Would you maybe help me? Okay.
Photos time.
Huh? Yeah, photo time. Okay. So there, good. What we'll do, you know what would be great? Can we move these chairs a little bit further back or something? And then, yeah. Isn't it wild, eh? How?
But that's the top.
That's the top. Yeah. So we'll have to do it
Well,
like
it's
this.
very fragile. Very fragile.
Yeah. It is super
Для меня
fragile.
тогда не будет на баннере,
This may be
я не
the
получу.
So I think we are standing in the
А
front.
я уже держал.
I think we can hold, you know what we can do? We can fold it in sort of in half. Carefully pull it out.
Because if you want us to stand in the front of it.
I think if we can stand in front of it, yeah, just move that stuff a little further over.
Or maybe a way that we can actually extend this. And then for some part it's actually on the floor, and then for some part we're just holding it. So we have the whole thing.
And you know what? We don't, and
We
we
have the whole thing.
yeah.
So it's like.
Okay, you know what? We can just fold it. We don't have to hold it. The whole thing out. We can just fold it like this. Keep your side down, your side down, and we'll just we'll sort of fold it in half. Okay. You can see it's pretty close to this last bit. Yeah, well, I'm thinking this thing here, like this. See the middle? Put it down. Yeah. We do this. Okay, so we'll just do it like this. This will be.
No, but
Or should we?
it doesn't look good.
Everyone standing this
It doesn't
way?
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
Right, but it's okay. Come on, folks. Let's yeah, come on.
How do you want to take the picture?
I guess.
Picture with
Yeah.
the camera.
Move that out of the way so you're.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is the best we can do. Come on in, folks. Come on in.
Come in.
Yeah. Okay, just get a little bit out in front so that people can pass it behind. Okay. Come on in the back, folks. Some in the back. In the front, you can be. This is really small, isn't it? Okay.
Great. Yeah, I can see everyone. Great.
Okay. Who's a panda file? Who likes pandas? You like pandas? Okay, you can go with panda. All right. And then who likes?
No, you should be the top. Come on. No, that's good.
You like the whole Roger the reality? Okay, just keep it down a little bit. Just down a little bit.
How do we expose the other side?
You know what?
I mean, this
It's on.
Because we have to. It looks a little bit better.
It looks better, but if it rips, I'll be really upset.
I think it's.
It's not a good plan. But anyway, okay, and this is interesting because you see someone has, not in my view, struck out economic growth. Right? It's very important.
It's spread it out.
Let's see, this is exactly what I was afraid of, and this is, this is why it ripped, because, hold on. This is.
Okay, extra strong.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I guess, you have to really understand, I've given you a long talk about how. Okay, so this is for you to hold, my friend, okay, Roger. Hold him up high, he's very jealous of LCP. Where's LCP?
Here.
LCP has to be, also, LCP needs to be really in front here because, no, up here, she's very jealous of,
How about the other?
okay.
Oh, here, oh.
How about this? Would you hold an SDG here? Okay, SDGs. And there's one last thing, one last banner. And Andy, you want to come in the photo?
Oh, Oh, yeah, thank you.
Oh, pass me that very gently. Very, 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 very gently. There we go.
Just some time for the picture.
Oh, and now.
See, look at why. See why I'm so paranoid, guys? Look at how this is tearing. See?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Very. It's a cheap piece of plastic, but it's held on for 8 years. Or so. Okay.
Come in, come in, come in.
Okay. So guys, somebody at the back.
Yeah, do that.
It's like, yeah, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Look at that. There's a QR code on it and everything. All right. So.
I think we should have it in a slightly different position, not
Yeah.
finding
No, no, no.
The
Yeah.
QR
No,
code
no,
is
no,
not.
it doesn't look good because of the.
It's okay, it's
If
okay.
if the guy in the pink shirt, if you move to your left, if you move to your left, left,
No, we need to like.
left, more.
Yeah.
That's too much, it's still gonna be.
It will blur.
There you go, almost there,
Yeah.
almost there.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, okay,
All right,
yeah,
so you got
okay,
Roger,
Great,
you got.
great.
She's not cuddly. She's very much out front. She's an out front kind of girl. Okay? Out front kind of girl. And yeah, that's it, okay?
And everyone does
Same
three
hand.
fingers.
Okay.
And what else? We have another panda here. More pandas. Who's a pandophile? Oh, this young lady's a pandophile. Okay, that's Commander Panda. Now we have one more.
For you.
Little penguins. Penguin fingers. I think,
You hold it.
I'll do it. I'll be a penguin. Oh, you know what I should put on? I should put on Sustaining Clause. You want me to put on Sustaining Clause?
No, we should take a picture, come on.
Take a picture
Okay.
first. Too many things to put
All right, never mind. Okay, folks.
Okay.
Big smiles.
Three
One, two, three fingers. Don't forget, we're
Yes.
an hour lecture about 3 fingers. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Society,
Okay, good.
environment, economy.
I'm
Did you
plenty.
say
Wait, one more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have plenty I can share with you.
Okay, here, we'll switch. Come in the photo, I'll take one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, then you can share with
Okay,
you.
Okay. 3 fingers, my friend.
All right, this is wonderful.
Okay.
Great.
Woohoo!
3, 2, 1.
Yay!
Everyone say, hold on. Everyone say.
What is it?
Say it in English, Philip.
Yeah,
Society.
slogan or something.
Society, environment, economy, imbalance. Society, environment, economy, imbalance.
All right, everyone.
Society, environment, economy, imbalance.
Imbalance or imbalance?
Well, it's
imbalance. It's something.
One more time. Okay, together. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Society, environment, economy, imbalance.
Woo! All right, fantastic.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, guys, very carefully with the.
Very good, huh?
Okay, here,
It's like cultural relic. You know,
This
that's
is,
to
this
preserve
exactly,
it.
exactly cultural
I
relic.
think this is.
Okay.
Yeah, so be careful.
So what did you think, folks?
I want to take a picture of this.
Sure,
Okay.
Let's put this just gently here.
Thank you.
Who wants to take a
I want to
picture?
take
Very gently.
Yeah, of course. I don't touch it. Don't worry. You know.
There we go.
Well, I think it's really.
And that's it. Good. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, you want me to be in it?
Yeah, of course, of course,
Oh,
of
okay,
course.
okay.
You are the heart and soul of this,
I
right?
see, hard to tell.
Ready? 3, 2,
Wait,
1.
get this up.
Alright, hold on.
Woohoo!
Amazing. Alright, great.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Let's have a few more pictures.
Okay.
Would you like to have a picture? Yeah. Let me turn. So thank you, everybody. Make sure if you're leaving right away, because I'm going to stay for a while to talk to people. But if you're leaving, oh, they're all gone. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can take a few pictures. Okay. Did you enjoy? Was it fun?
Conversation. We'll have a group chat with Philip. It's on WhatsApp. So if you just scan this real quick.